let's bring the conversation to today, from 1860 to perhaps today. Dr. Paul, how's the campaign going?
How's the campaign going? Unbelievably well. I mean, people might want to hear the truth on occasion.
Yeah, they might. You actually do bring up the truth. I have enjoyed watching you during the debates. You certainly say it like it is. And you are raising unbelievable amounts of money. And every time we say your name, sir, we get like hundreds of emails from the Paulaholics on the Internet.
And you will this morning, too.
Oh, yes,
Dr.
we will.
Paul, I gave you some credit yesterday morning. In addition to what I said about your comments about Lincoln, I gave you some credit because I said you represent the voices of a lot of Republicans who feel that they don't have a voice in the Republican Party when it comes to positions against the war, when it comes to positions on the IRS. But again, I think the issue that I think a lot of Republicans had, and certainly a lot of people here on this show had yesterday morning, was that when you're talking about somebody as revered as Abraham Lincoln, there you sort of get into sort of a danger zone if you're going against the most revered president of the United States.
You can't live in denial. I mean, you can't live in denial about Woodrow Wilson either, for that matter. We were taught throughout all these years that Woodrow Wilson was our greatest president. And if you study and understand Woodrow Wilson, you'll know a lot of the kind of messes that we're in today because of this making the world safe for democracy. He was the first neoconservative. But you can't deny history and truth and put your head in the sand.
Well, when you talk about certain presidents in a way that causes a debate like here, let's talk about the current president then, Dr. Paul, because I know Governor Huckabee certainly got a good deal of criticism for talking about the Bush administration being arrogant and having a bunker mentality. How would you characterize the way this administration has conducted this present war?
Not very poorly, but I'm essentially running on George Bush's foreign policy of the year 2000. You know, no nation building, a humble foreign policy, no policing of the world. I would say, I have an alliance with him when he ran for the presidency. So I don't come down hard on the president. I come down hard on the policy, what's happened in the last 100 years. I come down very hard on the Congress for not facing up to its responsibilities and keeping the president from going to war. If they would have assumed the responsibility, don't go to war unless you declare it. So there's a lot of blame to go along. So I don't think it's a mismanaged war, because I don't think anybody can manage a war like we have today, because we shouldn't be there. It is somebody just can't get in there and start managing it better. We have to understand that it was a serious mistake to be there. If we don't change our way, it's going to be an impossible solution. It's getting worse over there. Afghanistan's getting worse. Turkey's bombing Iraq, and Pakistan is blowing up, and we're getting ready to bomb Iran. A bunch of those neocons wants to bomb Iran.
Well, that's
I'm
not
sorry.
an
I guess I missed that, Dr. Paul, because the latest national intelligence estimate concluded that, in fact, Iran had stopped its nuclear weapons program. I think even President Bush said so a couple weeks ago, and that seemed to take the Iran option off the table.
No, wait. That didn't stop them from going in Iraq. They knew Iraq didn't have one. Besides, it's the Iranian...
Well, wait a second. Just to be clear, so you're saying despite the national intelligence estimate, despite what the president said about Iran, despite the conclusion of this government that Iran is not a nuclear threat, you believe that we are still headed into Iran. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I think it's a great possibility. Read Seymour Hersh. He's the expert over there. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard now has been declared a terrorist organization for the purpose of them being the target rather than the nuclear power plants. So wait and see. I hope and pray you're right, and that's what I'm trying to stop. But I can tell you for sure that when you find out what the people are thinking, there are still quite a few neoconservatives that want to go after Iran under these unbelievable conditions. That's the absurdity of the whole mess we have in there, and that's why the advice was very good.
Well,
stay out of entangling alliances. Stay out of nation building. We ought to just get out of that place.
There are lots of neoconservatives who say that we ought to go and bomb Iran, though I don't know where we would bomb them in any case.
Well, you're right.
No matter what, we don't have any targets there that we know anymore. So there's no. But I wouldn't rely for that on Seymour Hersh. You should only believe about half of what he says. The fact of the matter